of Dolcella Gelato. Welcome to my mobile gelateria. I am a gelato maker and I run a vintage gelato truck. I'm going to be serving some customers actually. I believe there's a little bit of a lineup on the other side there. So I'm going to serve up some gelato that I handcraft myself. Gelato is served at a bit of a warmer temperature, so sometimes putting it on a cone is a little bit more challenging. Traditionally, it's served in a cup. I wanted to start a business, a gelato business, and my late father was into old cars, hot rods, classic cars. So kind of as a tribute to him, I thought instead of opening up a gelato shop, maybe I'd open up a gelato food truck. So thereabouts started my search for a truck. So I looked at a lot of different vintage trucks, and I came across the Divco, and I pretty much fell in love with it. So I managed to find something online. It was actually an auction from Fort Lauderdale. So I won the auction, and I won the truck. So I brought it back down here, brought it directly to Radical Restorations, and that's kind of where the journey started in terms of the restoring of the truck.
Originally, when Lisa picked it up in Florida at the auction, we had it brought up, and we got some surprises when we
Just a few.
When we started to inspect the vehicle, we found that somebody had grafted in sort of mid-size Chevy frame rails in the front. And the way they'd done it, they'd basically just cut it off at the firewall, and they were only tack welded in. So when you actually pushed on the vehicle, the frame rail was actually separating. So basically down the road, a good bump, the frame rails would have just dropped. After we sorted out the problems with the frame, one of the other big issues with this Divco was the steering. They had basically just run a bar, and they had basically a round bolt that was holding the column in place, and every time it rotated, it was actually cutting into the pipe, and it was only mounted in the sheet metal on the inner fender, so it was just a recipe for trouble. We actually kept the original cream color. This is the color that it came in, and then we added the blue and the brown, and then Lisa got these great graphics done. I mean, we basically went over the whole vehicle. There was no wiring in it. There was no wiper motors. We got all the gauges working, sorted out the steering, the horn. In the back, we dropped the floor, made a new subfloor, took all the old wood and weight out of the back of it, went with lighter components and foam insulation, raised the bows in the roof to give it a little bit more height inside. What I always find interesting is watching Lisa driving it down the 400, and she can barely see over the steering wheel, but I know it's her.
So this truck has helped my business because it's an awesome marketing tool. The truck gets noticed wherever I go. I have people giving me the thumbs up and, second, third looks. I have people stopping me all the time, asking me about it. So, I mean, it's just such an eye catcher. It's so different, and it fits the business as well, being an old milk truck. So, and me selling gelato. So yeah, it's been a great marketing tool from that aspect. Wait, chocolate.
What year's your Divco?
1965.
And where did you able to get it?
In Florida. Fort
You
Lauderdale.
got it towed up? Was it restored?
Yeah.
Was it already restored for you?
Radical Restorations restored it.
Yeah. And they did all the work for you?
Yeah.
The
This
white
one.
chocolate
Okay.
raspberry. The reason why I'm saying it, the only reason why I'm here is because of your truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
started working out of a Divco 50 years ago, so.
You started working out of a Divco, or on?
50 years ago.
Really?
With the 56 Divco, and no, that's the first one I've seen since probably about 40-some years.
That's right. So here you go. Here's.
Yeah.
So you delivered milk from a Divco.
That was a milkman.
There you go. See?
Yeah. Well, it was a 56 Divco, and this is a 65, but they're similar in the body styles. But
Yeah.
when I saw it and I was just driving home, and I've seen it for the last few weeks, it really brought back a lot of fond memories, by all means. The sliding doors, the way you got it all set up.
Yeah, I've had actually quite a few people come up to me and say that they've driven in these old Divcos. They remember them when they were kids, you know, and they used to have milk delivered to them. I had one guy come up to me and say that he used to work for one of the dairies, and he used to drive these for 20 years. So that's pretty cool when people come up to you and recognize the truck and know exactly what it is and the history behind it.
The truck is a one of a kind. Is basically this truck is made the history. Before even people look at the name on the truck, they look at the truck, and that's may even make the name looks even better on the truck.
I grew up around old cars. I was dragged to quite a few car shows when I was younger, and my dad's always had old cars, so I'm familiar with it. It's kind of what I know, and my dad passed away several years ago now, and kind of as a tribute to him, I thought it would be pretty cool if I was able to incorporate, you know, an old truck into my business plan, so I did that.